Are you a Kaieteur newspaper advertiser? Well then, we have great news for you. Kaieteur Radio presents a 50% discount on all radio advertisements only for a limited time. To advertise, contact us on 225-8465 or 226-7455 or email us at kaieteurradioads@gmail.com. You can even visit our office at 24 Saffron Street, Charlestown, Georgetown. Kaieteur Radio, covering you from coast to coast.
Experience more than award-winning speed. Way more. Get the best that LTE has to offer on Digicel, officially the fastest mobile network in Guyana. Ookla, the company behind Speedtest, recognizes Digicel as the best mobile network in Guyana. With the best LTE experience and the fastest data speeds, experience it all with Digicel. Better together.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good evening. Welcome to this evening's newscast. I'm Kevin Smith. Guyana has been producing oil since December 2019, and during that course of time, there has been a significant decline in the domestic fishing industry, purportedly as a result of the drilling production operations by the international oil companies currently operating offshore. Now, against this backdrop, the government on Wednesday last signed off on a raft of new regulations to be enforced under the Fisheries Act that cater for, in addition to protocols for the handling and processing of local catch, the importation of fish and fish products. The regulations signed on Wednesday last by Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa speaks to the approval of vessels and processing facilities, conditions to be met before fish can be placed on the local market, and importation, among other aspects. Meanwhile, the PPPC government has since transferred over $40 billion on oil earnings from the Natural Resource Fund to the Consolidated Fund so that it can support several projects outlined in the 2022 budget. As a result of the oil money being lumped with revenues from other sectors, there is no way of tracing which projects it is going towards. International energy analyst Arthur Deakin is of the belief that such an approach is not in keeping with best practices. He believes Guyanese ought to know exactly what projects their oil money is being spent on in the interest of transparency and accountability. The analyst, who has vast insight into the energy sector, particularly in the Americas, advised that Guyana should consider increased oversight mechanisms so that it safeguards all opportunities for proper development through its oil wealth. Meanwhile, with the commissioning of Guyana's first automotive tolling system at the Demerara Harbour Bridge Corporation, there is expected to be a reduction in the time it takes for commuters to pay the toll at the bridge. The government paid $15 million to set up the system at the bridge with hopes of reducing traffic congestion around the area. On Friday, Minister of Public Works Bishop Juan Edgell commissioned the tolling system. Earlier this year, General Manager of the bridge, Wayne Watson, had stated that the new system successfully passed its pilot testing phase, which began in February with a few selected vehicles. Meanwhile, the PPPC government, through the Ministry of Public Works, is preparing to spend some $535 million on another geometric improvement project for the Blasinjan Road. This time, the project will be between Princess Street and Mandela Avenue along Blasinjan Road, Cemetery Road. Bids for this project were opened on Thursday at the NPTAP office, which revealed that 13 contractors are vying for the project. We were informed by a ministry official yesterday that the scope of works for this project entails the construction of concrete drains, a walkway, resurfacing of the road, and reconstruction of culverts. And moving on, a Brazilian man, 28-year-old Francisco Alves de Araujo Jr., could not believe his luck on Thursday night after he walked into the Albertown police station to make a report about a robbery and saw that the suspect was already there in handcuffs. All Francisco Alves, a business administrator, had to do was tell police that the boy they have in custody is the same individual who, along with 3 others, had robbed him earlier that evening. Police identified a suspect as a 15-year-old of Sophia and reported that their ranks had arrested him for shooting at them around 20 hours 45 along Ornock Street, Queenstown, Georgetown. However, at the time of his arrest, the ranks had no clue that he had robbed Francesco Alves just minutes before they captured him. In other news, police are currently investigating reports that a pensioner on Thursday reportedly lost her balance and ended up being crushed by the left rear wheel of a garbage truck owned by Puran Brothers. Dead is Yvonne Morrison of Beefield, South Sophia, Georgetown. She was crushed around 11 hours 30 along the same Beefield road. Police have arrested the driver of the truck, who reported that the woman was initially walking along the road in front of the truck. The driver alleged that he had tooted his horn, and Morrison had stepped into the corner to allow him to pass. As he proceeded to drive the truck, Morrison reportedly lost her balance and fell onto the pathway. In other news, as regional leaders pursue a robust plan to ensure food security by cutting down their respective food import bill by 25% over the next 3 years, most, if not all of them, agree that there must be a removal of illegal trade barriers between members of CARICOM. This joint position was echoed on Thursday by at least 3 heads of government as the 3-day inaugural Regional Agri-Investment Forum was launched at the National Cultural Center under the theme Investing in Vision 25 by 2025. Locally, the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry have been bitterly complaining of the trade barriers implemented by Trinidad and Tobago in particular. In fact, just before the launch of the Agri-Investment Forum, the private sector issued a statement to the press and advised the government to not sign any agreements with the Twin Island until it removes the non-tariff embargo that is preventing Guyanese businesses from exporting produce to that country. And that brings us to the end of this evening's newscast. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening. Do have a wonderful and safe rest of your weekend.
Kaieteur Radio.